Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is good. AFC, NFC championships are coming, and we're still going down. Player trends for the wide receivers. And I mean, it's important. We're starting early, and I understand that, but it's important to understand where these guys came from this past year as we start to dive in to fantasy football offseason stuff as well. Going to be tons of change over this offseason. We all know this. Let's talk about some wide receivers that were on the goods this year. Jackson Smith and Jigba, one of my dudes. You guys know, you watch my stuff, man. I was a huge JSN supporter coming out of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Absolutely loved his game. He finished... What did I say? I'll pivot there quickly first. What did I say about week 6 of the NFL season? I said JSN could potentially become one of the best route running wide receivers in the NFL, and he definitely took off this season. Finished as a wide receiver 10, y'all. 203 points, played a full 17. What is a little concerning is the 47% on the boom consistency rate. While that isn't necessarily his fault, he only got 137 targets this year, and a lot of that came in bunches in certain situations and games. You'll see his last 5, 17.1, 13.3, 20 points, and then 4.7, 3.3. You saw a lot of that yo-yo effect where he was booming on the regular and then he would disappear at time to times. And I think that was a due in part a lot to the scheme, the system, Geno not being able to play, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there were so many ways that JSN could have been more involved, especially early on in the season, and that's where he lost a lot of traction as well. He would hit a game, he would be gone for about 2 to 3 games, then he would hit a game or two, and then he would be gone again. So this is kind of the situation we saw with the JSN. Still got you over the 100 reception mark, 1,300 yards, and 6 touchdowns. While rumors are now coming around saying that DK Metcalf is on the trade block, he could be shipped out from the Seattle Seahawks this offseason as well, which would leave a JSN as the wide receiver 1 on this team. Unquestionable wide receiver 1 on this team, but he did play like that as the year did move forward. There is a lot of ups here. Trend moving definitely on the right side for a JSN. Absolutely love his game. And if these Seahawks do get another quarterback that is of the franchise caliber as Geno is fading off into the sunset in his NFL career, man, JSN is just going to continue to move up the trend because it is Kenny Walker III, it is Jackson Smith-Njigba, and they can build a damn nice team with these guys. JSN definitely rising up boards. George Pickens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, I'm a big Pickens fan as well, but I don't like what I'm seeing, not only from his demeanor, the way his attitude is on the field, and the way that this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is not moving, man. Last 5 games, okay, he dealt with a hamstring injury, but again, week 17, week 18, he's not even involved in this offense. With the Russell Wilson effect, lack of a running upside with a Najee Harris, they're going to be making massive changes in Pittsburgh this year. We definitely know that. 45% on the boom rate. When they do give him the opportunities, he does cash in and make plays, y'all. 103 targets alone, 59 receptions, almost 1,000 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns this year. That's another issue why he dropped down the top ranks. He was only the wide receiver 42, 134 points. So, I mean, there's a lot to get excited about. Didn't like his, season exiting press conference where they said, "Are you excited for the future of this team?" He basically said, "Yeah, not really." So who knows, man? Could he be dealt? Perhaps. There's not a lot of weapons. The system and scheme under Arthur Smith was piss poor, and we know because Arthur Smith is not a great offensive mind, and they need to get somebody in here that can absolutely exploit it. Will they go Justin Fields? Will they draft a quarterback? We will see. Will they go in the open market and sign somebody else as well? Will they just get rid of it? Maybe a Sam Darnold comes to town and plays in Pittsburgh. Who the hell knows? But, I mean, they need to add more weapons in Pittsburgh. George Pickens definitely requires more help and more support to get open on this field. He's still a supremely talented wide receiver, but is he going to be able to get out of his own way? Will he be able to have a system that does support his talents much more than what we saw this past year? So a lot of shakeup will have to be had for George to get the, trend up. For me, as of now, he is on the trend down. My dude, Jalen McMillan, rookie, baby. Well, Washington Huskies, you guys watch my stuff. I'm telling y'all, go back to my scouting reports. I was gushing over a Jalen McMillan coming out of Washington. Yes, there was a Roma Dunzier. Yes, there was a Jalen Polk. I'm a big Roma Dunzier guy as well, but I told y'all, man, this kid could be one of the better, or if not one of the best secondary wide receivers in this league when you give him some time, give him some reps to perform. He did finish as a wide receiver 50, but you look at these last 5 games, and what I say, last 5 to 6 games of the regular season for youthful talent, you will start to see what they are becoming. 19.9, 16.0, 14.2, 20.5, 16.5. Last 5 games, man. That is baller numbers, hovering in top 12 numbers for sure in those last 5 contests. Yes, the boom rate under 40%, but that's just because he started the gates really slow, had a hamstring injury throughout training camp, and then, he had a slow start coming out the gates. But, 8 touchdown receptions on 58 targets, absolutely stellar and unbelievable. Baker Mayfield, this run game with Bucky Irving, Rachaad White, they're only going to continue to build for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and I am so excited for Jalen McMillan. He's so good, man. Maybe we'll see what they do with a Chris Godwin coming off that severe ankle injury. Hearing rumors they may franchise tag the man as well, but you got a trio here with a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan that is going to be very dangerous. Only problem, how many mouths they're going to be to feed. With a Bucky and a Rachaad White, going to be taking a lot of touches from this offensive system. Jalen McMillan still is one of my favorites, and the future looks absolutely bright for this man right now. Telling y'all, his trend is on the rise. Dynasty Fantasy Football, get him on your rosters if you can. Don't overpay for anybody, but definitely try to get this man on your roster. Cooper Kupp, next one on the board. Okay, what the hell happened to Cooper Kupp? Because I don't have answers. Why did they seemingly phase this man out of the offense as the year went on? Was he injured? Was he playing hurt? Was it just not working? It was just so peculiar, as he did play very well. Yes, he did suffer an injury this year as well. Finished as a wide receiver 40, 141 points in only 12 games played. So, 58% on the boom rate, still not terrible, but the stat line is definitely way lower than what we've seen from a Cooper Kupp. You see week 15, 0 points, 16, 3.9, 17, 3.4, and then week 18, he did not play. This killed everybody in fantasy football that had a Cooper Kupp because they were starting him and he just was not producing on the field. We even saw in the playoff game, they basically did not utilize a Cooper Kupp at all, which is crazy and blasphemous for how good he is. I still think there is something left in the tank for Cooper Kupp. Perhaps he does go to another squad this offseason as well. But there still is maybe a good 2 years, maybe 3 years left of elite play out of a Cooper Kupp. But we know this offense does roll with a Puka Nacua now more than ever. The reins have been passed, but a Cooper Kupp on the downtrend for me. Definitely one I am definitely buying in Dynasty on the cheap, if you get him for cheap, because there's going to be a lot of people that want to sell his services. There is no question. There still is talent for at least 2 more years if you're looking to run for a championship. Just depends on where he does play, because it was very odd how they did phase him out of this offense as the year did move on. Very strange for a Cooper Kupp. Next one, Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, and these Washington Commanders, the Commies, in the NFC Championship. Unbelievable. I've always been a Terry fan coming out of the Ohio State Buckeyes. I don't know what it is, man. Ohio State just turned into a wide receiver producer just like LSU. Wide receiver 6. You go back, I had Terry McLaurin as one of my safe plays this offseason before going into fantasy football drafts. 226 points, man. The biggest benefactor this year because of a Jaden Daniels. 13 touchdown receptions, career high for a Terry McLaurin. 117 targets, still very relative. I believe he's got 5 1,000-yard receiving seasons in a row now. This is very good news for him. He's just been the ultimate, competitor, super consistent. 76.5% on the boom consistency rate this year. I believe that is a career high as well for a Terry McLaurin. Last 5 games, 22 points, 14 points, 1 point, and then 16 points. So, there is opportunity where he does put down those, duds from time to time. but with somebody like a Jaden Daniels, this offense is only going to continue to get better. If they add more wide receiver talent to this wide receiver room, it's only going to be that much better for a Terry McLaurin. Second year for a JD. Everything is looking ups for a Scary Terry. That's why I got him on the trend up as well. He is definitely one of my favorites, one of the better wide receivers, one of the most consistent wide receivers, and now he finally has a quarterback that could dice him and dish him the ball with consistency. You gotta love what is going down with a Scary Terry. Absolutely trend on the rise. Last one we got is Stephon Diggs. Can you digs it? I mean, stealing that from Mr. Rose there. But, I mean, last 5 games we know he was placed on injured reserve after the 8 games. Tore his ACL, season was done. So, I mean, finishing as the wide receiver, 67, 98 points. He still had a very good season for the games that he did play. 75% on that boom rate. He did have, 47 receptions, almost 500 yards, and 3 touchdowns. With him and Nico Collins here in Houston, they were doing the business early on, and then CJ kind of took a little bit of a regression in his sophomore season. But I do foresee a bounce back coming. But will Stephon Diggs be coming back to these Houston Texans? I mean, he is a free agent this year. He could go join and suit up with his brother in Dallas. That is the initial rumor right away because, I mean, they're brothers and they want to play together. That could definitely happen. CeeDee Lamb with his Stephon Diggs. I mean, coming off the ACL injury, I mean, how is his year going to go? That's the question. Week 8, so you're talking maybe October, November, full calendar year before Stephon Diggs does come back to the fold. Definitely going to be hard to trust him next season. And then, I mean, he is aging as well. So, I mean, we probably have seen the last top-end point productivity seasons for a Stephon Diggs, but I do believe he's not going to go out this way. He will still continue to perform and play, but will it be with these Texans? Will it be with somebody else? We will see this offseason, but again, a long rehab for him to get back on the field, and we know typically mid-season, the next season's basically a wash for these guys coming back from an ACL injury. Very tough to come back from, but as of right now, Stephon Diggs' trend is definitely falling down the floor, not only due to injury, but based on team circumstance. We do not know where this man is going to play, and then coming off the ACL, definitely all 3 is a no bueno. But there you have it. That is trending players for wide receivers. It's good to see and reevaluate what these players did, where they came from this year, and where they could be going in the future next season as well. So many youthful, talented wide receivers, some aging veteran prospects that are products that we do have to keep our eye on to sell in Dynasty, especially as they are aging out. But it is very interesting. A lot of good talent here at wide receiver. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.